All right, so this is episode 29 of the podcast. This is going to be all ghost stories. Now, I know you have ghost stories. I have some ghost stories. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Well, I can go first. Do you want to do like a switch off thing? Like you tell one and I'll tell one, depending on how many you have.
Well, all of mine are from one house, and they all kind of like they're all go together.
Oh, okay. I have a couple of stories that aren't mine that are like my parents, because my mom and dad have a lot.
Okay.
So, only a couple of them are scary, because I assume you want scared.
I mean, how scared am I going to be? I don't want to be too scared.
Well, I'll start with the really, really sweet one. Well, kind of sweet. It's actually really depressing.
Oh, great.
Okay. So, my grandpa died in 2011 on November 27th.
I don't like
That's
this
important. No, you don't. You really don't. So, it was about a year and a half ago, on November 27th, my grandmother called my mom. And this is way after my grandpa died. So my mom looked at the phone, and instead of my grandmother's name popping up, it was his name. Now, the thing is, my grandma and my grandpa had two completely different names, like different last names. He had never paid any of the bills. He was never on any of the plans for the phone. He used a completely different company for everything, so they have no idea how his name got onto the phone. And so my grandmother called every single person she can think of. She called the company. She called the phone manufacturer. She called everybody. And nobody could figure out why his name was on the caller ID. And so she couldn't get it to go away until she got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, this happened a lot. Like, this wasn't just one time.
Yeah, no, it happened a couple of times.
Oh, that's weird.
But after she got diagnosed with cancer, it went away.
It just randomly went away.
Yep, and nobody could explain why. Just as like the day after she was diagnosed with cancer, it completely went away. And
like literally the day after?
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. And it popped up on the day he died, on November 27th.
That's so weird. Like,
yeah.
I would probably take my phone and throw it in a river, to be honest with you. just get this thing out of here. I don't want anything to do with this.
Never mind. Not worth it. Don't want it.
I don't need this thing anywhere near me. I would change phone companies. I'd probably change addresses. I would move.
Yep.
I've always said that, like, because of that, all of my entire ghost experience all is from one house from my childhood. So I've always said that, like, if this house that I live in now was to be haunted, I would just burn it down. Like, because I live here alone. So, like, if one day, like, stuff just starts, like, say something like falls over, like weird stuff starts happening, I'm burning this place to the ground. There's no questions asked.
It's stupid, but it's fair.
Like, I don't
burn anything. It just pisses them off.
I don't do ghosts after that. After everything, nope.
Yeah, do tell one of your stories. I'm curious.
So it's all from one house. We lived in this house from the time I was probably from 7 to 12 is probably the range that we lived in this house. Now, whenever we moved in this house, it had just a weird feeling to this house. Like, especially the downstairs, because it was like a mid-entry house. So, like, the downstairs, it wasn't like a basement, but it was like underground. And then of course the upstairs was above ground. But it was just like, the whole house felt weird. But the downstairs, you just always had this feeling like somebody was looking at you. Like, no matter, everybody had the same feeling. Everybody that was there felt it. Nobody knew what it was. That's just how it was. And there was always there was different ranges of things that happened. Like in the beginning, at nighttime, it would sound exactly like there was somebody like the size of a toddler running down the hallway all night, just footstep just running down the hallway. And then of course I didn't know what it was. I didn't know ghosts were a thing or anything because I was 7. So I would this happened every single night. I would go down to my mom's room, wake her up, ask her what it was, and then she would feed me some line of BS and be like, "Oh, the house is settling. That's just the noises the house makes or something."
My mom told me that too.
And I was just kind of okay. But then as it kept happening, I was like, I don't think that this is this house just making noises, because there was some weird stuff going on. So that happened. That was regular. That happened. And then what started happening was, once I started going to school, probably in second or third grade or so, whenever I get off school, I would just walk to the house by myself, and then my mom would get home an hour or so after I did. So I was home alone for an hour roughly. So since it was a mid-entry, usually what would happen is on the side of the house there was 2 garages. So if my mom was coming home, she'd pull in the garage and then go in the house, then come up. There's 2 sets of steps that you'd go up, and then you're in the upstairs. So I would be, and then to the right of that was the living room. So I would be sitting in the living room, watching TV or whatever. And the way our couch was, it sat against the railing. So behind you was the steps. So you'd be sitting there facing away from the steps, watching TV or something. And then you would hear the door from downstairs. You'd hear the door close. And then you'd hear somebody walking up the steps, and you'd be like, "Oh, mom's home." You turn around, look over the couch. There's nobody there. And that would happen, nearly every day, 2 or 3 times. You'd just be sitting there, and you just hear a look, nobody there.
Oh,
and
no.
And on sometimes you'd hear that same thing. You'd hear the door shut. You'd hear somebody walk up the steps, and then in the hallway was a bathroom. You'd hear that toilet flush, just all in one sequence. So we didn't know, at that point was whenever I started questioning, I don't think these things that are happening at night, I don't think that this is just a house settling. I think there's something else going on here, but I don't really know. And then I'd bring it up to my mom, and she'd just be like, "I don't know," and just kind of just brush it off, I'm crazy or something. And then one of my friends, whenever he would stay the night, he would say the same thing. He's like, "What's all that?" And I'd be like, "It's the house settling. I don't know." And so we just kind of lived with it. So then, as things went on, I don't think the running down the hallway at night, I don't think that ever went away. But the walking up the steps, in the middle of the day, that kind of phased out, and then it changed to whenever we would be watching TV. The whole family would be in the living room watching TV, and the living room was here, and then right there was the kitchen. So we'd be in there, but all the cabinets to the kitchen were out of view from where we were sitting. So we would all be in there, and you just hear a cabinet door just shut. But they're not open, and you go in there. Of course, there's nothing there, and we're just okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. We're shutting cabinets.
All right.
And that went on for, I couldn't tell you, probably nearly the whole time we were there. So then we had the running down the hallway and the cabinets, and then we had a TV and a stereo. Of course, this is the early 2000s, so it was the TV was 400 pounds, and then it was set on a stand that had a surround sound stereo. Mm-hmm. So for 4 or 5 days in a row, at 3:00 in the morning on the dot, the surround sound stereo would turn itself on full blast static. And that was it, just static. And then somebody would have to wake up and turn it off. So the first day it happened, we were okay, maybe there's a timer or something that just, because my brother and sister were both probably under 5 or so, or my brother was probably only 2. So we thought maybe he, pushed some buttons, set a timer, did something, whatever. And then it happened the 3 or 4 days in a row, and then we're all right, there's something going on here. So we couldn't get it to go away. Like after like the 4 days or whatever of it doing it in a row, we just unplugged the stereo. So then that quit because it obviously didn't have power. So then so then everything was like kind of calm for a little while, and it was just kind of the normal, walking up and down the hallway, a little bit of cabinet noise, just kind of deal with it, whatever. And then then one day I was watching TV, and I think I was home alone, but I was watching TV, and then like I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden the volume just goes all the way down, and I was like, okay, like, oh, maybe I sat on the remote or something. Like, oh no, the remote's here. Turn it back up. And then like you could turn it up and sit there, and then maybe 10 minutes later it would just go all the way down to 0.
You had the TV too damn loud.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then it started like that. That was like that happened maybe like twice just in a row, and then like nothing else happened for maybe like weeks. So I was like, oh, okay, that's just just something weird happened. And then it started doing it like consistently, like every day. Like the volume would either go all the way down or all the way up, So then we thought like maybe the remote was going, like something's wrong with the remote. So we call like the whoever the TV people were. They come and they like check the remote or whatever, and they're like, oh, maybe. They give us a new remote, and then a couple hours later, all the way down, all the way up. It just like keeps happening. So we're like, all right, well, the stereo is doing this. We got cabinets shutting and then opening themselves. We got people walking down the hallway. We probably have a ghost. So
there you go. It only took you like forever to figure it out.
So like that's when everybody was like on the same page. We're all like, okay, there's definitely something here. So then it changed. So then it quit. So then the volume changing that went away, and then it became changing TV channels. So you'd be sitting there watching TV, and it would just go up 4 or 5 channels, down 4 or 5 channels. Sometimes it would just like keep going up until like it would just start cycling through channels and just like keep going up. There's just nothing you could do about it. So we just kind of dealt with that. And then, so that kind of went away, or I think we bought a new TV or something. And then like, yeah, I think we bought a new TV, and then it still did it, but then like it slowly like phased out, and then whoever it was quit messing with our TV so we could watch TV in peace. So then after that, maybe a few months after that, my mom and stepdad were going on vacation. So they were on vacation, and my grandma was going to come stay at our house and watch me and my brother and sister while they were gone. So while she's there, we're like, it was nighttime. We're all, we were all already used to the, walking up and down the hallway, whatever. Mm-hmm. But that night, we were all just like laying in bed, and it sounded like somebody was running down the hallway, but like dragging like a big logging chain running down the hallway. Like it just running back and forth down the hallway. Of course, you open the door, there's nothing there. And we like looked all through the house and all that kind of stuff. Nobody's there. Go back to bed. Hear it again. So then my grandma, then we wake up the next day, my grandma was like, all right, we're all going to my house and we're not staying here. So we all go to grandma's house. And then while we are because it was like I think they were gone for like a week or something. So we were at my grandma's house for like the last like 4 days or whatever. So there was nobody at the house. So we all get back at the house at the same time. And as they get back from vacation, we get back from grandma's house. And our neighbors come over, and they're like, what were you guys doing the other day? And we're like, there's nobody here. What do you mean? And they're like, well, it looked like all your lights in your house kept going on and off all throughout the whole house. And then we're like, I mean, we got TVs changing channels. We got people running down the hallway. We got all kinds of stuff. So we don't know what it is. So like up until this point, it wasn't like nothing bad had happened. Like it was just kind of like more like annoying inconveniences pretty much. Mm-hmm. So I think the next thing, which was like the reason that we sold the house and finally moved, was my brother had just turned like 3 or 4. And he was running, he was in his room like playing by himself or whatever. And then just in the middle of the day, he just like runs out of his room, and he's just like screaming and just running out of his room like there's something in there. So Like my mom goes in there because there's nothing there, and she's trying to talk to him like what's wrong? And then he said that there was a guy that was trying to put snakes on him. Is what he said. So we're like, okay, you're a little kid, maybe you're a little crazy or something. We do like whatever. Because to preface that, he would say crazy things all the time. Mm-hmm. He's just like, I guess he's just a little bit off. But that kind of was like, okay, it's kind of weird. And then like the next 2 or 3 days, it like happened like multiple days in a row, the exact same thing of him like being like terrified, wouldn't go in his room because he said there was somebody trying to put snakes on him. So then at that point, we're like, all right, we got these people walking down the hallway. We got people dragging chains down the hallway. We've got these cabinets and these TVs doing all this crazy stuff. And then now we got guys trying to put snakes on my brother. So we got to get out of here. So we end up putting the house up for sale or whatever. And like once somehow during the process of selling the house or whatever, we end up coming in contact with the people that we bought the house from. And then we're telling them about everything that was happening and asked them if they had anything happen or whatever. And then it turns out that while they lived in the house, the guy that owned the house before us, his uncle died in my brother's room. Oh. So then like everything kind of connected and we're like, okay, so this is what's going on. And that's the entirety of my ghost experience. And that's all I want. And I don't want any more. And I've had enough.
Yeah. I know that doesn't sound like fun.
Oh, that sucked. Like it was like in the beginning, it was just kind of like, whatever, kind of ignore it. But then as it went on, it was like, there is something going on here. And I don't know what it is.
No, don't worry. It's just the house settling.
Yeah, all that is just the house settling.
It's fine.
And there was a couple other like miscellaneous things. Like I think one time our bathroom door got locked, but it was a door that didn't have a lock on it, but like we couldn't get in until like maybe 30 minutes after. And the toilets would randomly flush all the time. Like it was a bunch of weird stuff. It was just like little things that added up all together was like really freaky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really?
Hello?
There we go.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. You like disappeared for a second. Yeah, go for it. That'll definitely be productive if nothing else.
I don't like that at all. That's something that's literally never happened. I've never had connection problems. None of this stuff has ever failed me. And then I'm telling these ghost stories and it just disconnects.
You know what? I have done a lot of work to keep my house unhaunted. And this one time you're going to break it all down. I'm going to have to break out my sage, my spoons.
I was thinking that I probably should have had like sage or something to maybe use some sage to start the house fire.
Perfect. You have it all down. You have a whole plan. Burn your house down with sage, and there will never be a ghost there again.
I wonder if that'd probably cleanse the ground that the house is on. That way I can build another house.
You find out like 2 years later it was on an Indian burial ground of some kind.
I'd burn it down again.
Fair. I would do the same thing. I might have to. Oh. If this whole mic thing happens again, I'm done. It was nice knowing you.
See if we can't summon something else up.
No. So, I have another one if you want to hear it.
Whatever you got. And
this one's scarier. This one I'm like, okay.
This one, your mic's going to cut out.
Did it?
No, I said it's going to.
God. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm not telling this story. So the thing is my family is we're very
Haunted.
spiritual, and not in like the hippie way, not in like the we're spiritual, bro.
Yeah.
Like the spirit kind of stuff. And my mom knows a lot about it because she studied it for like 10 years. So it was a while ago, and I was laying in bed, and I get sleep paralysis all the time.
Oh,
and
no. Oh.
And because I get it so often, usually like if I'm stuck in sleep paralysis, I'm like, all right, I know what this is. I know what's going on. Close my eyes, calm my body down, get my body to wake up so I can move and freak out for like 10 seconds and then go back to bed.
It happens all the time?
Oh yeah. It happens. It sucks.
I've only had it happen once, and that was enough.
Yeah, no. It's not fun. But this one time, see, usually, like I said, what I can do is I can calm myself down and, finally get my body to move. But this time, for some reason, I couldn't calm myself down. And so I'm laying in bed, and like I'm laying on my side. And all of a sudden, I feel something lay down next to me, like right in front of me. And I hear this deep, angry growl. Just this slow, menacing, ooh, no thanks. And and I can't open my eyes, I can't move, and then I feel something run its hands through run its whatever through my hair.
That's
and
even creepier. It's whatever.
I don't know, whatever, it had nails, and it ran its nails through my hair to the back of my neck. And it grabbed the back of my neck, and it started like shaking me, like just the back of my neck. And then everything stopped, and I was able to move again. And I sat up, and I did not sleep that night.
You didn't burn the house down after that?
I ran downstairs to get my mom. And I was like, Mom, something's up. This is not cool. And then I grabbed my trusty quartz here, and I set it above my head, and I saged, and I sat. I would like to say that I was brave enough to go back to sleep, but I wasn't. And I mean, I have dream catchers everywhere. I have a dream catcher collection, so I have them everywhere, and they did jack shit. So I have beef with them at the moment.
Maybe you should have had like a giant one.
I do.
No, like a big one that takes up like the whole room. You can catch all kinds of stuff.
If you want to pay for that, like, oh yeah, send it over. I'll take it.
So what's quartz supposed to do? Because isn't that what they make countertops out of? What?
So that I think. Are you thinking of marble?
Isn't quartz countertop? Isn't that
maybe
a thing?
there's? I think maybe.
I mean, there's
possibly
definitely marble and granite, but like I think quartz is one of those. She's got like a chunk of countertop.
Yep, right here. Just broke this off a countertop. No, I got tile. I got that 70s style countertop. No, quartz is I don't like specialize in rocks or anything. But quartz is a cleansing kind of crystal, cleansing and protection, and what you can do is
quartz is a crystal? Quartz is a crystal?
Rock, crystal, whatever, same difference. Does it look like a crystal to you?
I don't know. Do I look like I specialize in anything?
Geode, I don't know. But if it's good to cleanse auras or cleanse areas of spirits, stuff like that.
What's an aura?
An aura is similar. Oh god, I got crystal rock geode all over my bed.
Just spread it around, sprinkle it all over the place.
There you go, have it. An aura is sort of like an energy that you can have around you. And it can be a calming energy or like crackhead energy.
I know
You
some
can
people
have a
with,
crack.
I know some people with crackhead energy for sure.
But it's kind of like this. There are certain people who can see auras, and I'm jealous of them because if I could see some of the auras of my ex-boyfriends, I would have known to steer clear of that stuff. But sadly, I am not.
How do you
Um,
how do you see that doesn't make sense though. How do you see an aura?
like I said, it's like the way that they describe it is kind of like a light that surrounds, that kind of like outlines a person,
Now, is this
and
like
it
they
can.
see it all the time, or is this like with when they take like LSD they see it, or when they eat like a bunch of mushrooms they see it?
Okay, if somebody says that they're seeing lights around somebody after taking LSD, they're not seeing auras. They've just taken drugs.
Well, that's what it sounds like to me. So like if these people go like into a crowd, they just see a bunch of lights.
I don't know how it works. Maybe that would be dope. Just that would make concerts so much better.
I mean, I guess depending on what kind of lights you saw.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. Like I said, I can't see it, and I haven't talked to a lot of people who can read auras or anything like that. I know that it's an energy, and I know a lot of it, even if you can't see it, like a lot of people can sort of feel like an aura come off of somebody. It's like when you go up to somebody and like you shake their hand and you talk to them for a minute and you're like, "Ooh, you rubbed me the wrong way. I don't like you." That might be because their aura doesn't vibe with yours.
I can usually
Your auras are not vibing.
I can usually do that from a distance whenever I see somebody. I don't usually have to shake their hand. I can
Really?
see from a distance like, oh yeah, I don't like you.
You're a headache and I don't even know you yet.
Or usually within like 3 minutes of talking to somebody, all right, you're an idiot. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yep. Yep. Although that might just be first impressions. I don't know if auras has anything to do with that. But yeah, a lot of people can do that. So yeah, it can cleanse your aura, it can cleanse your I don't know, like if you have like a darkness inside of you. Not like depression. I'm not gonna look at you and tell you that this rock can cure your depression.
See, it can, but what you have to do is eat it, so it goes on it gets rid of the stuff on the inside. So it cleanses you from the inside.
That's gonna cause a whole new set of issues. I wouldn't be worried about your spiritual issues at that point. If you're eating a rock.
Hey, it's a cleansing rock. What else are you supposed to do?
Well, it's okay. It's
Grind
not
it down
like
to a dust, put it like on the salad or something?
and then snort it. There you go. That's healthy.
I didn't say snort it. I said put it on a salad. I didn't say snort it.
Well, I don't know. You said ground it up and it's gonna be
I
white.
guess you could snort it if you wanted like the immediate effect. Whatever that would mean.
The immediate effect. Ow. No, none of that. I mean, you do you. Like, if you want to ground it up and put it on your salad, let me know how that works out when you get on an episode of Grey's Anatomy. That'll be interesting.
I don't eat salad, so that wouldn't happen.
Same. Yeah, but crystals are good, and sage is good. Feathers and a shell, yeah. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. Yeah, so you can get this sort of stuff online, and a lot of it is just fake. But if you get like a seashell and a feather and a bundle of sage, what you can do, take the sage, light it, and then put like the lighted part in the shell because that'll send the smoke out.
The lighted part.
Huh?
The lighted part.
Yeah. What? What else was I supposed to say there?
Just keep going.
And you take the feather, and it can be a crow feather or an owl feather, something like that, and you just, and, be gone,
So, where are you supposed to get an owl or a what feather?
Owl, crow,
If you,
something like that. Yeah.
If you like, are you just supposed to find the feathers, or can you like shoot the birds and steal the feathers, or is that like a bad?
Okay,
a bad omen?
animal cruelty is not good.
Well, you gotta
probably
get the feathers. Where do you think they come from?
go to Spencer's. Go to a metaphysical bookstore. Sometimes they
sell
have
feathers?
them. Like just, huh?
Spencer sells feathers.
They sell smudge kits. Some of them.
A what kit?
The one that I have, smudge kit.
What's that?
I'm literally explaining to you what a smudge kit is.
Oh, that's what that
the
is.
The shell, the sage, the feather. Yeah, and you can, and don't, okay, disclaimer, don't pick them up off the ground because that can have diseases and it's just bad, so go buy it somewhere.
Don't pick the feathers up off the ground. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, don't do that.
I recommend pick the feathers up and lick them clean. That's what I recommend.
Look, you're the one who puts stuff in Clorox and acid and Coke for like 30 days.
That would sanitize them.
Technically, it would. You know what? Technically, it would get rid of all of the germs and bacteria and disease.
And then you can lick them clean.
Again, that would cause a whole new set of issues.
No, you don't do it all at once. It's like a tolerance thing. You got to build it up. Like you don't just go drink a gallon of bleach. You got to drink a little bit each day, and then you can build up your tolerance.
Right? Okay, got it. And then you make it on an episode of My Strange Addiction. There you go.
I think that show's fake.
My Strange Addiction?
Yeah.
No, there's no way that it's fake. The girl that drinks gasoline, she just has a stomach made of iron, man.
It's literally, it's like there's some sorry writer in Hollywood that like couldn't get hired doing anything else. And he's like, you know what we need to do? We need to just make this crazy show about My Strange Addiction, and we're just gonna just make everything up, and then everybody's just gonna believe it.
I'm just gonna film a guy making out with his car and put it on the air.
Kind of like Doomsday Preppers. That was the same thing.
You go.
Some sorry guy had to justify his job, and he's like, all right, I'm going to write this show. It's going to be horrible, but we're going to do it.
Exactly.
I don't even know what you were saying.
There we go.
I don't even know what you were saying before we started talking about courts. I don't even remember.
Ghost stories. And then I was talking about how I slept with Quartz that night because I was not being possessed by a demon. That was not going to happen.
Does it stop you from being possessed?
Yeah, I hope so. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything about me throwing myself across the living room.
If somebody was possessed, could you get a big thing of quartz and throw it at him, and then would it like knock the demon out? Is that a thing that could work?
I have never heard of that.
Because I know some people that I'd like to try that with.
You know what? If you do it, you gotta let me know how that turns out.
But how would I know if the demon came out, though? That's the only thing. I can't see him.
Well, I have a feeling the person wouldn't be all demon-y anymore. You know, demons are usually...
I don't know. Some of these people, I don't know.
Demons are usually pretty expressive with the whole, changing of the voices and the spitting up blood. And have you ever seen The Conjuring?
No, I don't watch that.
You haven't seen The Conjuring?
No. You think I'm gonna sit in this house alone and watch some movie about demons? No.
You won't feel alone anymore.
I'd rather feel alone. When I say I don't do ghosts, I don't watch anything that has to do with ghosts. I don't watch any type of demon ghost movies. None of it. None.
No, you just sit here and talk about it on your podcast.
Well, this is just one episode. This isn't like an everyday thing.
You have a whole new series? Come on, people are going to watch this. They're going to love it.
It'd be a one-part series. It would be a one-part series of me taking a 5-gallon can of gasoline and starting here and going through the hallway, light it on fire, and run outside. That would be the whole series.
And then just watch it burn.
Yeah. It's done. All the demons that were here, they're gone.
That's it. That's enough. We're good. Show's over, everybody.
And I'd keep the garage, and then I would just film in
That's
the
the
garage.
finale of your channel. It's
Burning the
like,
house down.
yeah, that would be bad. I mean, it would be a perfect ending.
I mean, if demons
But-
get in here, I mean, it's highly possible that could be the be the finale.
Unless they get attached to you. If they get
If they get
attached to you,
If they get attached to me, I'm burning myself. I'll just set myself on fire.
that's fair. So you texted me and you asked me to come on the show, or the podcast, or whatever the hell it's called. I know what it's called, I promise. And you said it's because I'm Wiccan. Why is that relevant to anything?
I said that?
Yeah. Right?
I don't remember. I don't even know what Wiccan is.
I explained it to you.
I don't
when
re-
when we first started talking.
you know what goes on in here? Not a whole lot. I don't.
Nothing.
I'm not good at holding on to information. It just kind of just in one ear, not the other.
You're just like, huh. Yeah. Except you were the one that said this to me, that I was Wiccan. Hold on. What about...
Because
okay,
you told me.
Witch. You called me a witch.
Oh, witch. Isn't that what it is?
Yes. Kind of. Sort of. It depends.
So why'd you say it like it was something that was degrading?
I didn't.
You were like, you call me a witch. That makes me sound like an asshole.
Well, no. It's... no, it's a little bit patronizing. Because, you're sitting here and you're like, huh?
Patronizing?
Yeah. Because you're sitting here and you're like, I don't know what Wicca is. And then you're like, witch endeavors. Like, what do you expect that means?
Ghost, witch, that all goes together, does it not?
Y'all think I fly on a broom and go somewhere?
Do you?
Freaking wait! You think if I was a witch, I wouldn't be like, bippity boppity boo.
You just said you were a witch. Right?
Okay. Okay. I'm Wiccan and I practice witchcraft.
Do you practice riding a broom?
You're special.
Yeah.
No, I wish I could ride a broom. Instead, what witchcraft really is, or at least the kind that I practice, is I read tarot cards and
So you know how to read.
It's very... You're trying at this point. Yes, I do know how to read. Do you?
Not really.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, it doesn't seem like it.
I never really learned.
Wait, you actually learned right? Because I'm gonna feel really bad if you pull out like I had to drop out of school when I was 7 years old to help feed my family. Like, I'm gonna feel real bad.
No, I know how to read. If I didn't, it would just be because I'm stupid. It wouldn't be because I had to drop out of school. So what's a tarot card?
Tarot card?
Or
So basically-
tarot?
Yes, it's TAROT. That's how it's
Tarot.
spelled, but it's pronounced tarot.
Tarot.
Sure. There we go.
What is it?
So basically, hold on. This is one of my decks of tarot cards,
Why is it
and
so
it's
big?
basically, huh?
Why is it so big?
Well,
How big are these
there's-
cards?
well, they're long. There's also, it came with a book. I got a book with it. There's 72. I should know this, but there's 72 cards, and they all have different images on them, and they each have each card has a different meaning. And so, like, Ace of Swords I can't pull out of, I can't remember what they mean. I have to have a book. But the Ace of Cups represents creativity, and I'm not going to be able to pull that out right now. But do you know what divination is? No.
No.
No. No, yeah, it's just, no.
I know.
It's basically,
I know basic division, but not whatever you just said.
okay. It's when you go to like a festival or a fair and there's that lady, it's that lady in the tent, and you go sit down and she's like, give me your hand, I'll read your palm. That's a form of divination. Tarot cards is a form of divination. It's when you have your future told, or with tarot cards I can tell your past, your future, relationship, advice.
That's scary.
Actually, it's kind of cool.
I don't want to know the future.
Probably not.
I've thought about going to one of those places one time, but I would be terrified that I would go there and they would like do whatever it is they do, and they'd be like, doesn't look so good for you. You're probably gonna die soon. And then I'd just be in a constant state of stress until I died.
Okay. Well, I can guarantee you that's not going to happen if for no other reason. You won't pay them if they tell you you're going to die.
Oh. So they won't tell you the bad stuff.
Huh?
So they won't tell you the bad stuff.
I mean,
they're not going to be like, you're going to walk out of here and get hit by a car.
Okay, the cards don't do that. If the cards did that, psychics would be charging a lot more money. And there's a lot of people who are like fake out there who say they can read cards who can't, but it's all just, like I can be like, okay, I pull a card out and I'm like, all right, in your future, you're going to have challenges around finances. But after that, it's going to be okay based on the next card I pull out.
That sounds like a good situation, rather than you're going to be broke and then you're going to die.
Okay.
And then you're going to catch a disease, and then you're going to get lit on fire. Just all bad stuff.
Oh, no. No, they won't do that. There's not a card that specifically says, you're going to get lit on fire. There is a card, a death card, though.
That'd be the one they'd pull out for me. That'd be the first thing they'd pull out. They'd be like, doesn't look good.
It's not a bad card. The death card is not a bad card, contrary to exactly what it says.
How's it not bad?
And the image on the card. The death card is more of a symbol of like new beginnings, and
if you're dead?
No, it's not like you're gonna die. It's a card that says death on it, and it
like the death of
symbolizes
something.
Yeah, like the death of an old, the old you is dying and the new you is coming out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes more sense than just like you're gonna die.
You're gonna die straight up. You leave this building and you're just gonna drop dead, and nobody's gonna be able to tell you why.
That's what I would be scared of. Or they'd be like, well, in about 2 years you're gonna die, and then I have 2 years to be stressed out.
Why would you be stressed out for the 2 years? You know you're gonna die in 2 years. You still have, that.
Are you kidding me?
Span.
And then I would have 2 years, because especially what if they just said like you're gonna die? And I didn't know how. I'm gonna spend 2 years trying to figure out what's gonna happen. Am I gonna get struck by lightning? Am I gonna get hit by a car? Am I just gonna like drop dead? Like what's gonna happen? And then I'd be like every single day, that'd be the only thing on my mind is like, is today the day? Is today the day?
It's the same concept as if a doctor diagnosed you with cancer and they were like, hey, you have 6 months to live.
That's why I don't go to the doctor. That to me, that is terrifying.
But doesn't that scare you more? Then you don't even know if like you're gonna die at all, or like you don't even know if you're sick.
Nope. I would rather not know and then just randomly drop dead than to know that in like 6 months I'm going to die, because that's going to ruin my entire 6 months.
You wouldn't want to get stuff in order for your family or like, travel.
What do you mean stuff in order?
Well, I don't know.
There's nothing in order around here.
Delete your computer history? I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know what you have to do, but like, if you knew you were going to die, wouldn't you want to be like, okay, I'm going to quit the job I hate and I'm going to travel to Italy because Italy.
I don't have any desire to go to Italy. It would ruin it. It would ruin, like, even if, say if they said that I had like a year to live or something, and then I could like start going wherever it is that I wanted to go previously, it would ruin the experience, because I would know like I'm dying. Like this is like this. It would just ruin everything. It'd be too stressful. Like, I'm assuming that you probably didn't listen to the podcast that I did, the last one where I talked about being in the hospital.
Look, you're my friend, and I really appreciate I didn't listen to it.
Okay, so I'll just sum it up real fast. Did you see on Instagram whenever I was in the hospital?
I think so, yeah.
So to basically sum it all up, what happened was I was sick for weeks, and then like I started kind of feeling better or whatever, and I went to work, and then like 10 minutes after being at work, I passed out, fell on the ground. And then I had to go to the hospital. So then while I was at the hospital, they were running a bunch of tests on my heart, because I guess just to make sure everything was all right or whatever. Mm-hmm. And like whenever I told them like all the feelings I had before I passed out, they pretty much told me that it was probably just where I was sick or dehydrated or whatever. And they pretty much told me from the beginning that there was more than likely nothing wrong, but they were going to do all these checks just to be sure. But even them telling me that, because I was in there for like probably 30 hours roughly is the little bit of time I was in the hospital. But that 30 hours was the most stressful, miserable 30 hours I had ever spent in my life. Because I'm the type of person that like they can like they told me from the beginning, like there's more than likely nothing wrong. We're just going to do these tests just as like protocol. But that's not what I hear. What I hear is there could be something wrong. I could be dying. This could be the end. Like that's what I hear. So for like 30 hours, and then of course somebody should have taken my phone away, because the whole time I was on Google, because like they would talk to me about this, like this and that, and then like I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about anything. So they say like they're going to run this test for this. So I start Googling, oh, well, why would a doctor want this type of test? And it's like, oh, well, they want to look at this because this and this could be wrong. And I'm like, great, all of this is bad. Like, and then at one point they said that what they were checking for was a left ventricle something or other. And what that is when your left ventricle gets like thickened from like high blood pressure or like something like that. And that's what they were checking me for. And then so whenever you Google that, it's basically if you go down that rabbit hole, the first thing it leads to is that's the first stage of heart failure. So like so the whole time I'm reading that, and I know that there's probably nothing wrong, but I also know that I'm reading that if I have that's heart failure and I'm dying. So it's just, that's the cycle I go through is I bet you I had 12,000 Google searches in that 30 hours. I was a Google doctor by the time I got out of there.
Yeah, you might as well have just had your PhD.
So that's why I mean, it turned out everything was fine, but that's why I don't go to the doctor, because it is absolutely terrifying, the idea that they could just walk in and then like that could be the beginning of the end of your life. That is terrifying. Like, don't tell me that. Just let me drop dead.
That's fair. That's fair. But the thing is, okay, I have had a lot of like really sick family members in my life. So like I said, my grandmother died of cancer, my mom just had skin cancer. I thought that I, had slipped a disc in my back recently, but my father, he always says, don't panic until you know the facts, or, there's no reason to freak out until we actually know what's going on. And he's right. Like, why would I freak out about something? And don't get me wrong, I have like crazy anxiety. I am nothing but what if. But, you can't really come up with a decent what if until you have the facts. Like, if you don't even know what's going on at all, then it could be a million what ifs, and you can't pick one specifically to panic about. And then what's the fun in panicking if there's really nothing in specific to panic about? That made sense.
I'm the complete opposite of that. I'm panicking before it even happens. I don't care if there's no facts, nothing. I'm still panicking. It doesn't matter.
There it is. Literally nothing happens. You walk outside. I'm gonna die. Like, this is it for me. That's the end of it.
I don't even every 2 years, because I have a CDL, so I can drive like commercial trucks. Every 2 years I have to have a physical. I don't even like going for that. And all that is like checking your eyesight and your blood pressure and like all this like basic stuff. I don't even like doing that because I feel like, oh, they're gonna check this and then it's all gonna be downhill from here.
I will admit, whenever they like do the blood pressure test and they're like, all right, your blood is 80/100. I'm like, all right, what does that mean? Like, am I okay? Am I gonna die? Like, what's up? I hate that.
They always give you some lame answer that like doesn't even make sense. They're just like, well, it's all right. You're like, what do you mean it's all right? Like, I want it to be as good as it can be. What are you talking about? Like, I don't want it to be just all right.
Do I need to be worried? Like, should I be like writing down passwords? And
that was one of the things that stressed me out in the hospital, was like, because I had to have an echo. It's like basically an ultrasound of your heart. And the whole time the lady was doing it, like she had like this thing on my chest, and she's like sitting beside me, and she's looking at this screen that's behind me. So I can't see what's on the screen. Not that I would know what's on it anyway. But so she's looking at that, and she's like scanning, and she's like doing all these like weird looks. And then like as she's like the first thing, like she was like looking for a certain spot or whatever, like the very first thing, and she found it. And then like she like made this weird look, and she's like, "Are you feeling okay?" And I'm just like, You're giving me these weird looks. You're asking me if I'm feeling okay. You're the one looking at my heart. So what's wrong? And then,
am I okay? Like, you tell me.
And then she would never give me any. She said she couldn't give me any like results because the doctor had to look at them. So I'm just like, great. Like, this is it. I'm dead.
Okay. That's it. I'm done. Somebody call my mom. Like, this is it.
I don't do good in doctor's offices. It stresses me out.
That's fair. I'll give you that. That's fair.
I don't even want to, like, if I just even walking into, like, if I had to walk into one to like take out the trash, it would stress me out. Like, I just like being in there. Like, if say this is like a hypothetical. Say I was a janitor and I had to like take the trash out of a doctor's office. That would stress me out just because I had to walk in there. Like,
okay, well that's unhealthy. That's like that's like a little more than like, oh no, I'm afraid of high blood pressure. That's like,
oh, it's completely irrational. Completely irrational. But that's just how it works.
Completely irrational.
That's
like a phobia.
That's how my brain works. I don't like it.
And the only reason you probably went to the hospital is because you were passed out and you didn't have a choice.
Well, I did have a choice, but
you did? They didn't like take you while you were passed out? They took you after you woke up?
No, I was only passed out for like maybe 10 seconds. Like, literally, I was sitting on a stool, and then I passed out. Like, pretty much once I hit the ground is when I came back. I wasn't like I was like unconscious for like 30 minutes, and they just like took me away. that would have been a problem.
Yeah, that might have been a little more than, oh, you were dehydrated.
That was one of the reasons why. Like, that was one of the things they told me whenever they were telling me that like it's more than likely going to be nothing, is because like if you pass out and then like you come back pretty much as soon as your body is level, then it's usually nothing serious. It's not like a heart problem or something wrong with your brain or whatever. But that didn't affect my ability to freak out.
That's fair. I mean, no, and you know what? I can say all I want about like whatever, like, oh no, my back hurts. But like, okay, if there was a problem with my heart, like if the doctors were like, yeah, this might be a heart issue, I would probably be freaking out too. Yeah, I gotta admit, that would not be fun.
That's like
No.
that's one of the other things that just like freaks me out because like there's almost nothing that can be done. And then when there is something that can be done, it's like a serious procedure. It's not like,
Yep.
oh, my ankle hurts, like we're gonna do some like 30-minute surgery. It's like, oh no, you gotta like rip your whole chest open and like get in there and do whatever. It's just the whole thing just stresses me out.
That's fair. And okay. All right. Slightly off topic. You know you know what acupuncture is, right?
Ugh, yeah. I don't like needles.
No, I hate them too. I hate I know that acupuncture is really effective and it's great, but it's just ugh. But my mom was talking to me earlier today about acupuncture, and she did it while she was pregnant. And you know, it was a whole thing. And for like the pregnancy, they didn't put any needles anywhere like in her abdomen area. They put them in her neck and right by her eye right here. And it worked.
What was it like? Worked for what? Like, what was it like treating?
Well, she was like, well, she'd had a lot of problems with pregnancies before. And so she was like, I'm not doing it this time. Like, this is gonna work out. And, you know, I like to attribute it to little fetus me being really resilient.
No. So she did this when she was pregnant with you.
Huh?
She did this when she was pregnant with you.
Yep. Little fetus me really had a
Maybe that's what happened.
Wait, what?
Just keep going.
But yeah, it's so weird. Like with acupuncture, with specific problems that you have, like if you have, I don't know, do you know what, like, if you have do you know what drop foot is?
Drop foot?
Yeah.
When you drop your foot? I don't know.
No. It's like a condition where suddenly your foot, you just like lose all movement in your foot and you can't move it. You can't do anything with it. Nada.
That's a thing
Can't
that
flex
happens?
it. Yeah, my mom just recently got it because she has lupus. She can't flex her foot. She can't move her foot. Nada.
Does that
And so
happen
she's gonna-
like is there usually like, I'm assuming there's like a condition that usually causes it, or can that just happen to anybody? Like you can just lose control of your foot?
No, she has lupus and that's what they think caused it. And my dad got the same thing after he got spine surgery. So I assume it's got something to do with that. You know, like if your body goes through like an intense shock of some kind, or like you have a condition, I guess. But yeah, her foot, like it just doesn't move. And it might be permanent. You know, it did just come randomly. Like there's just all of a sudden she like couldn't move her foot anymore. She woke up and like her foot wouldn't do anything. So we're hoping.
That'd be terrifying.
Huh? Oh my God. It's, ooh, like and I'm not gonna like undermine how terrifying that is, but like thank God it's like just her foot and like not her entire leg or like, you know, the entire side of her body. Because when we went to the hospital for it, because obviously like her foot suddenly not moving, we were kind of concerned about that. We went to the hospital and we talked to the doctor and he was like, well, you know, okay, it could be lupus, you know, you could have had a stroke. And we were like, wait a minute, hold on. Like that's a whole different thing. Luckily she didn't. And so we're going to go to an acupuncturist, but we were curious about it. We were like, okay, if they put, you know, for a pregnancy, they put needles here and here, like where are they going to put needles for a foot? Like, are they going to put it in the foot? Are they going to put it in the knee? Is there going to be something on the back? It's fascinating.
I honestly think that acupuncturists, I think they just make it up as they go. I really do. I think you just go there and they just put them all these places. They're just like, well, that feels better, doesn't it? And you're like, I guess. Like, well, good.
Sure.
Take them all out. Like, give me some money.
It's all just pseudoscience. It's all just, you know, we're going to make you think you feel better, even though you don't.
I mean, the thing is, that would probably work on like 50% of people.
Pretty much. Yep. Although there's like, acupuncturists, like, you have to be like really careful because they're like when I say like thin needles, like they specifically fit into your pores, like in your skin. That's how small they are.
Do they stick them in your pores?
Yeah, yeah. And like they have to be really careful. And I don't know, like do you know the YouTube channel Cut?
Isn't that one of those? Is it one of the big ones that does like a whole like variety of different stuff?
Yeah.
I think I've seen them.
Yeah, they did a thing on it. Have you seen Kung Fu Panda?
No.
Excuse you?
What? What's Kung Fu
You
Panda?
haven't seen Kung Fu Panda?
Like the movie?
Yeah.
No.
Duh. No, I'm talking about when you go to Beijing and you're just,
Maybe
if
maybe you're talking about the book.
There's a book?
I don't know. I don't read books. There could be a book.
No. In Kung Fu Panda, the praying mantis, he does acupuncture, and I feel like that's not how it is in real life. But, it's the same kind of concept. You put this needle here into this specific pore, and it like totally triggers something else on like the opposite side of your body.
That sounds like a condition. That's what that sounds like.
What?
I don't know. That just sounds like something's wrong. Sounds like there's like wires crossed somewhere.
I don't know how it works. I'm not an acupuncturist. That's what they're called, by the way, an acupuncturist.
That's what I said, right? I said acupuncturist. Right?
I mean, after a couple of tries, I think you mean.
I was trying to think of what it was. I don't know a lot about anything. I just kind of make it all up as I go.
Yeah. That's I think okay, people go to college, like I see people in college all the time and they're studying stuff and it's like, yeah, but like, do you really know what you're doing? Like, okay, you can read a textbook, but can you you could read a textbook about yoga, but can you like really put your foot by your head?
Right.
It's the difference between knowing something and, learning something from a book and learning something from experience.
If there's anything that I've learned in life, it's that college doesn't matter.
Huh?
College doesn't matter. That's what I've learned in life. I know some people that went to college that are complete morons, like dumber than dumb.
Well, I'm in college.
I didn't say everybody in college is an idiot. I'm just saying that there's some people that I know that have been to college that are dumber than, like, they couldn't, like, middle school. I guarantee they probably couldn't even make it through middle school. But somehow they're in college.
Well, I mean, like, are you smarter than, like, a fifth grader? Is that what it is?
Or this is even better. Some of them, I swear, there's some people that they might have the highest, like, college degrees you can get. You could have a door that's locked, and you could give them a key, and they wouldn't know how to open it. They'd be like, well, what am I supposed to do? How does this work?
I've never seen a door before. I only know about astrophysics.
They'd be like, where's the manual? How do I get it open?
Yep, exactly. Yep, and that's a huge problem with, like, education and stuff. I do a lot of crosswords, because I'm a nerd.
Crossword puzzles?
And,
Crossword puzzles?
Yeah.
Why?
Yep. Because they're fun.
Okay.
But we're moving on. A lot of, like, the answers are, like, really elementary, but I can't think of them because, like, I'm overthinking what the answer is. Does that make any sense? Like,
yeah.
It could be...
I mean, I've never done a crossword puzzle, but I get what you're saying.
You've never done a crossword puzzle?
Do you watch my videos and you know me? Do you think for 1 second that I would have the attention span to do a crossword puzzle? Because I can tell
No.
you what's going to happen is I would read the first question and go, well, I'm done with this, and throw it off to the side.
That's it. That's not enough for me. I'm done.
Like
And I do that. So I'm not gonna lie. I look up like half the answers when I finally get sick of it, and I'm like, all right, I don't know what the freaking answer is. I look it up because and my way of thinking of it is if I don't know the word, then it's not fair for me to blame myself for looking stuff up. Because like if I don't know the word, then I can't play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
My grandma does a lot of crossword puzzles, and sometimes she'll ask me about them, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, except for where she's, kind of, she won't admit that she's old, but where she's kind of old, she gets them in the newspaper, so she doesn't get the answers until the next week's newspaper comes around, and then she gets the answers to a crossword puzzle.
Oh, that would kill me. Oh no.
I don't even know. Like, to me, okay, if I was gonna do a crossword puzzle, because I'm assuming like you probably do it like in a book or something.
No, I have it on my phone.
No, because I'm thinking like old school. The all the answers would be in the back. So if I was gonna if I had a crossword puzzle book, I would look at that as like a task. The task is to get the puzzle done. It doesn't matter how I get it done. The task is to get it done. That's how I approached like all through school. Like it doesn't matter. I don't need to learn this information. I just need a pass. That's what I need to do. And
That's fair.
I mean, so far it worked.
I mean, there you go. We all have our own methods of getting through high school. My only goal in high school was to be completely and utterly invisible and make sure that nobody had any idea who I was and then graduate. And it worked. I did it.
I pretty much did that too. Whenever I was in elementary school, we would have like parent teacher conferences, and the teachers would like forget that I was in their class because I just never said anything.
You were the kid that like didn't get the book handed to them because the teacher grabbed the wrong amount.
Yeah, if they didn't hand me a book, there was no way that I was ever gonna raise my hand and tell them I didn't get one. So I just sat there and I'm just like, "What's going on? Oh, we have a book. Oh, that sucks." Like just.
Oh. Okay. Did you read any books in high school? Like any of them?
I've never read a book in my entire life.
BS.
Never. I've never made it through more than one chapter of any book in my entire existence. All through I'll even go this far. In middle school, we had to do book reports. You had to read a book, and every week you had to write a report about what you had read so far that week, right? For the entire, or I think this was 8th grade. For my entire 8th grade year, I had the same book all year, right? And what I did every week, whenever, like at the end of every class, the teacher gave you 15 minutes to read. And she would, like, everyone just opened their books and everybody had to read 15 minutes. And then at the end of the week, you'd write a report on what you read. So throughout that 15 minutes, my attention span is not 15 minutes. My attention span is like literally this big. Like once I read a sentence, like I'm done. That's it. So for the 15 minutes, I would just sit there and literally just like stare at the pages and just like think about whatever nonsense I was thinking about. And every now and then I would just flip a page. So then what I did was whenever I got the book, I read the back of the book to figure out like what the general gist of the story was for that book. And then every week when I had to write a book report, I just made up the whole thing. Like whatever I felt like would have happened next, I just wrote that. I did that for the entire year. And they never caught on.
They had to have caught on. You were invisible, so they didn't care.
Hey, if they caught on, they never said anything. Because I mean, I'm pretty good at making stuff up. I can make up some pretty cool stories.
Maybe you should write a book instead of reading one. There you go. I solved all your problems.
I don't have the attention span for that. There's no way. Like literally, no, it looks fine.
Okay.
Like when I say my attention span's this bit, like that's an exaggeration. Like we're talking like you almost can't even see it.
Well, No wonder you think college is worthless. I'm sorry I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry.
That's why I never went, because I was like, I'm never going to make it here. Like, there's no way I would make it through college.
And college isn't as big of a deal as everybody says it is. I'm only going because I have to for the degree that I want. But it's not, there are so many jobs now that you can get without a college degree or anything like that.
I mean, all through school, I cheated. That's what I did. All through school. That's how I made it. I just cheated through everything. I went into every test. I had a cheat sheet on my hand, in my pocket, somewhere. I would make up my book reports. I just cheated all the way through. And then whenever, like, because I've always approached everything in life as far as school is not like, I need to learn this. This is a task that I need to get done. As long as this task gets done, we're good. Whether somebody else does it for me, whether I get the answers from somebody else, whether I make it up, like whatever happens, as long as the task is done, the task is done. That's what I did. I even did that once I went to tech school to be a diesel mechanic. All through that, I didn't. I mean, granted, I did learn some stuff in there.
Oh, I was like, they let you near cars after that? Like, are you sure that was something you wanted to cheat on?
Not cars, commercial trucks. Like semi-trucks.
Commercial trucks. Oh, cool.
So bigger and dangerous-er.
Bigger and dangerous-er.
Yep.
I take back what I said. Probably not a good idea for you to write a book.
I'll write a book about grammar. How to form sentences properly. That's what I'll write a book about.
Perfect.
So
make up your own entire way of grammar. And then the world ends, and like in the next, living civilization, they find your book and they assume that that's how grammar was.
In the new simulation.
Yeah, exactly. In the new civilization, they specifically find the book that you wrote about grammar, and that's how they base the rest of the entirety of the language. Oh, man.
That civilization's done for. So you said before that you had something about Ouija boards.
Oh, wow. We're like circling all the way back.
Yeah,
okay.
We're going all the way back. We kind of like went like way in left field, like in the ditch for a while, and then now we're coming back.
Yeah, I know some stuff about Ouija boards. Do you want
whatever you got? That's another thing. I don't touch Ouija boards. I've never been around one. I don't know how they work. I have zero experience with them. But I used to work at this pizza place whenever I was in high school, and apparently I never had any experience with this ghost. But apparently there was a ghost there named Brad, and I guess everybody had experienced this ghost except for me. And all the other people that worked there, they wanted to get a Ouija board and bring it in like one night, and they wanted to talk to this Brad ghost. And
Brad, a ghost named Brad, he's bound to be a dick.
And I told them all, I was like, listen, if you bring a Ouija board in this pizza shop, because most of the time at night I would close, so I was there alone. So I was like, listen, if you bring a Ouija board in here and you summon up some type of demon inside this pizza shop, and I don't have to deal with any demons now, but if you bring one in here, I'm going to quit. Like, I'm not working here after you guys, because everybody else, it was like one of those things where everyone else would have got to just summon up the demon and leave, and then I'm the one that would have to deal with it every night whenever I close. So I was like, no, we're not doing this.
Did they do it?
No, they didn't do it.
Okay, good. Thought they might have done it. Are you sure they didn't do it?
If they did, I never knew about it.
Oh, there you go. No, I know the basic stuff, don't play alone, keep the planchette away from the board after playing.
Why don't you play alone?
Huh?
Why don't you play alone?
Because it's scary as fuck. No,
so there's no real reason. It's just because it's scary?
No, I mean, you're more vulnerable to like the spirit world when you're playing a Ouija board by yourself, because the ghost is channeling your energy into the board through the planchette, making it so that it can communicate with you. So when it's just you, it's basically, it makes you more vulnerable for a possession, and it's probably a really bad idea if you get in contact with some nasty spirits.
See, I would be all right with I don't really have any desire to talk to like any type of spirit anyway. But like, I would probably be more apt to talk to them if like maybe I could like write them an email or something. But I'm not gonna get some like bored and do all this nonsense.
Dear Ghost, if you could stop opening and closing my cabinets at night, that would be great.
Exactly.
I have to get up for work early in the mornings.
Or at the very least, just be like, hey, why are you doing this?
Or just casually, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I don't know if I'd do much of that.
How's life? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that, dude. What?
I would probably just write a bunch of hateful emails. Leave me alone. Get out of here.
Oh.
So have you ever used a Ouija board?
Yeah, lots of times. I've
Lots
several
of times.
different. Yeah, ghosts don't like me. I have no idea why. There is no good reason. So the first time I ever used a Ouija board was with my best friend at the time. Her name was Ashleen. And we grabbed, like I said, my mom studied stuff like this for a really long time. And so her and I were probably about 10 or 11. And we wrote, we took a marker and a piece of paper, I think it might have been cardboard, maybe it was a piece of paper, and we wrote, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like the whole thing on the paper, as though like it were a Ouija board, and we didn't have a planchette, so we just grabbed a crystal, hanging, it's called, the dangly thing, what's it called? It'll come to me eventually.
The quartz.
Yeah, I think it was amethyst. What we used, but it was I can't think of what it's called. But anyway, it's a crystal at the end of a string, and we put it over the board, and it spelled something, and I don't remember exactly what it said because this was a long time ago. But we did the completely wrong thing. My mom specifically said because she left the house to go to the store or whatever, and that's when we decided to do this. She specifically said, "Don't burn anything."
And you burnt
we
something.
Burned it. We burnt the Ouija board, which is a bad idea. Don't burn Ouija boards, kids.
Oh, isn't there some type of... There's like some type of movie I saw or something where like somebody had a Ouija board and like they like burned it and they had to like get another one and then like gift it to somebody else or something to like get out away from it or something. I don't know. Now it just sounds crazy.
Quite.
It was some movie I saw.
If you burn a Ouija board, it's just bad. It's bad juju. Don't do it. It traps spirits. It gets spirits attached to you.
It traps them?
Yeah, so it's like, they don't have a way back in through the door. A Ouija board is a door or a window. And the spirits communicate through that window using your energy. Well, when you burn it, basically like the door closes or the window closes. And so the spirits get pissed. Good.
Close that door. Lock it. Nail it down. We don't want them.
Yeah, and then they throw a lamp at you and kill you.
No, you lock them out.
Poltergeist. Huh?
No, you lock them out so they can't get in. You shut the window and you like screw it down so they can't get out.
That's not quite how it works.
Can you like corral them around and then and then burn it?
So you corral them?
Like get them all together and then like shut the window or something and get rid of them all?
No. What you do with the Ouija board is you take it far away from you and your space, and you bury it. And you never touch it again.
Or you just never touch it to begin with.
But when you're using a Ouija board, a lot of people have a lot of different rituals for a Ouija board. But the way that I learned it from my Wiccan mother and grandmother is you take the board and you cast a circle, which is a whole Wiccan thing. And then you call upon
the...
Yes.
What does that mean, you cast a circle?
Basically, it's just like you create you designate an area, Usually it's a circle.
Is it like, do you actually draw a circle?
You can. Or
Does
you
it-
just like mentally draw a circle.
Does it keep the sea bears out?
Yeah, exactly. It helps. Keeps the monsters away. But you cast a circle and then you call on the 4 elements to help protect you. So air, earth, water, fire. And you put candles or like a representation of each element in the direction corresponding to that element, so north, south, east, west. So you would put the element corresponding to that direction in the circle, and then you, when you're starting, you just say, unless you're looking for evil spirits or something, you're like, hey, we're not here. We're not going to accept negative energy into the space.
You got like somebody at the door, like, oh, you're negative, no, you're not getting in.
A bouncer.
Sorry, you're a little too rough for these parts.
You're on the wrong side of town, buddy. But yeah, you create energy, you create a space, you say, hey, if you're a bad spirit, we don't want you here. And then if you want to talk to like a specific person, you say, I want to talk to insert person's full name. And you just hope that you're actually talking to them and that another ghost or poltergeist or demon or whatever is posing as them to get to you. Because that happens a lot.
If you could talk to somebody that was dead that wasn't your family, who would you want to talk to?
I don't know. That's a hard question. Probably who has like a really huge conspiracy theory that would be great if I could actually like ask them like the truth.
Kurt Cobain.
Who? Kurt Cobain. Yeah, I would. That would be awesome. Oh, I might do Chester Bennington because I love him. Lead singer of Linkin Park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he committed suicide.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, I don't know, I would love to talk to him because his music was brilliant. And
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah, he would be another. He would just be, I feel like Robin Williams would have been just fun to hang out with, just like a really fun guy to just like chill with.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he would have been great.
And he was really depressed, so we would have gotten along great.
You guys could talk about all of your heartbreaks together.
Hey, Grant, if you're out there, fuck you. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say that. Hey, Grant, if you're out there.
Once.
I'm doing my best here.
Who's Grant?
I have some. He was. I probably shouldn't have used his real name. Not that anybody's gonna care. First love kind of situation. Real heartbreak.
Oh, whenever you said was, I was thinking you were gonna say that I thought you said was because he's dead now.
No, I'm just gonna say screw you to this random dead guy. Yeah, that's gonna make me look good.
That's what I thought. Because you said was, I was thinking, well, so he's dead.
No, the only I think the only acceptable people, like the most acceptable people to be like screw you after they're dead, Hitler, Osama bin Laden, like the really bad people. But like I said, like if you don't condemn anybody. That's just a bad idea unless they're alive. I mean, it's probably a bad idea if they're alive anyway. But like,
what do you mean condemn?
Go to hell. Screw you. I mean, I don't believe in hell. Based on my religion, I don't believe in hell.
Like, don't say that to them?
Well, yeah, it's a dick move.
Oh, I've said that to quite a few people.
Your true colors are showing.
I could probably write a book on the amount of people. Granted, they all deserved it.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a lot of people who, you know what? I'm in the same boat.
I don't think it's being mean if it's the truth.
That's not true. The truth can still be. I mean, it's the truth no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's mean or not. It's still the truth.
Right.
But Yeah, I think there are times where it's okay to be mean. There are times where it's
There's
okay.
definitely times when it's okay to be mean. 100%.
I'm so non-confrontational.
Some people deserve it.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah, there are a lot of people who deserve it.
Some people need to hear it. Every now and then they need to hear like, "Hey, you're an idiot. What were you thinking?"
You suck.
Yeah.
No, it's just I get so worried that people are gonna like attack me.
Like physically?
Well, kind of. I mean, there was one time where story time. There
That's
was
why
one
you
time.
take your quartz and you throw it at them.
What? Read that. Cleanse your ass. No. I was driving with this friend of mine, and she was trying to get over. She was driving and she was trying to get over, and I was blocking her view apparently, and like she was, she didn't see this guy, and she almost, switched lanes right into him. And so we honked, and she went back over. We thought it was done.
Oh no.
Wasn't done. It
Road
wasn't
rage.
done. He rolls down his window, and I swear to God, his teeth were like brown and nasty. I mean, his eyes, I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but there is no way that drugs were not in his system.
It's
his
hard to look intimidating if you don't have a full set of teeth. It's hard to look. You just can't look that intimidating. Like if you only got like 6 teeth, like you're not very threatening.
Part of being threatening is being able to talk, and if you have 6 teeth, there's not going to be a lot of words coming out of your mouth. Sorry. But he rolled down his window, and so he was on this side, and so I was in the passenger seat, and so he was like right there, and he was like, "You just tried to run me off the fucking road. I'm gonna kill you. I am going to follow you to your house, and I am going to kill you, and I am going to kill your family." And we were like, "Oh no." We didn't call 911 because we were stupid and we were panicking. Well, we thought he wasn't actually going to do it. We thought he was just a dick and he was just going to be a jerk. Yeah. No, he got behind us and he started to follow us. And so we drove and we like tried to weave in and out of this neighborhood, and like he was not leaving us alone. And eventually we like pulled into this parking lot, and I think he thought we were going to stop and get help. And so we backed off. But like for a hot minute, I was like, "This is it. This is how I go. This is my story."
Some crazy toothless guy killed me.
I was killed by a crackhead in my friend's really shitty car. That's it. That's what my tombstone is gonna say. Don't piss off a crackhead.
They are crazy. They are.
They really can be.
Have you seen that video of that crackhead carrying a refrigerator on his bicycle? Have you seen that?
I don't think so. I have not been blessed with that image.
If I can find it after this, I'll send it to you. But there's a refrigerator just sitting on like someone's front porch, and this crackhead walks up, literally picks up the whole refrigerator, puts it on his shoulder, and then gets on his bike and then just rides away.
Okay, bye. That's impressive. Refrigerators are heavy. It was like one of the mini ones, obviously.
No, it was a big one. It was like not like a full size like double door fridge, but like the like an apartment one that has like the ice box up top. It was like one of those. Like so, it wasn't like it definitely wasn't mini, but it was big. It was
next time that I need to move somebody out of their house, I'm gonna bring like a $1 bill and just like take some of that.
It was definitely way too heavy to be carrying by yourself on a bicycle.
Yeah, how did the bike handle that?
Looked fine. He just rode away. He didn't have a shirt on. He probably weighed like 100 pounds soaking wet. I mean, He
just scooped it up. Peace. I'm just gonna take this. Hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. If some guy just came up to my porch and took a refrigerator, I'd be like, "Okay, enjoy."
I'd probably be pretty upset. I'd probably fight him. Throw something at him.
Huh?
I said, I'd be pretty upset. I'd probably fight him. Like, you ain't taking my refrigerator. That's mine.
Okay, but do you really? That's what you do? Somebody picks up your refrigerator. You don't take that refrigerator. Shame on you. That's mine.
Then I'd get my quartz and I'd throw it at him with like a big boulder of it. Wham!
Yeah, I think that stopped working out of the sandbox. I think once you left kindergarten and got out of the sandbox, don't take that. That's mine. Stops working.
You'd be surprised. Some of those crackheads are like, they're real skittish. Like, they're ballsy enough to like try to steal something, but if you just go like, hey, they'll run away.
You know this from experience?
Yes. I used to work at this garbage place as a mechanic. And the garbage place, there was like we had the lot was fenced in, but right over the hill was the bank for the river. All these homeless people had made Tent City, is what we called it, over the riverbank, and that's just where they all lived. They were all just like crackheads, and they just lived down there, and they'd fight and scream. And the right next to like where like the entrance, I guess like the entrance you'd call it, to this Tent City, there was like a bridge, and they would like build big fires under the bridge, and then like the fire department had to come put them out because they were like trying to burn the bridge down. Like they just nothing but trouble.
Yikes!
And they would in the wintertime, they would come on a diesel truck. You have to plug it in like with an extension cord so that it'll start in the morning. So in our parking lot, we had like 70 something trucks. So that means we had 70 extension cords. So they would come up in the wintertime, they'd come up in the middle of the night and they'd start stealing all the extension cords and they'd hook them all together. And then they would plug them into whatever outlet was closest to the hill. And then they would like string a long, like 200 foot or 500 foot string of extension cords down over the hill. So they could have like, they would run like TVs, they'd have a microwave. Like they'd do this stuff all the time.
You got to admire that dedication, man. Like that takes some planning.
They did it all throughout the winter. They did it every single night. So like every single night we'd be going over there to the fence and start pulling the extension cords back up, and they'd be down there in their tents. They'd be like, hey, what are you doing? Stop! And you'd pull the cords and you hear stuff falling over in the tents because all the stuff's getting dragged all over the place. But sometimes you'd catch them like stealing the extension cords, and they would like, and of course these were crackheads, so they're not very smart. They wouldn't just like walk into the fence and just like steal them and run. They would like crawl underneath the truck so like they couldn't, because like I guess they thought we were like always looking for them. So like sometimes you'd catch one, like you'd go to like work on that truck. You'd go out there and you'd see one and he'd have an extension cord and you're like, what are you doing? And he'd just drop it and run. So like
I would stick it with you.
They're most of them are very skittish, but it was an interesting place.
Yeah, no kidding. Who needs a subscription to, what's one of the an MMA channel when you can just take mosey on down the hill and see a homeless guy fight.
They fought every night, and especially like Friday, Saturday nights. You could stand by the fence and you could hear them. They would be screaming at each other for hours, and they'd be like you stole this from me. Well, no, you took it from me. And like there'd be people breaking up. They'd be like, you can't just leave me here. Like they would just fight all the time. It was like a reality show. They'd be literally chasing each other down the streets. Like there'd be a girl that would have like a bag with like something and that the guy wanted, and they'd be chasing each other down the street. They start fighting in the street. The cops have to come and separate it. It was just a normal occurrence. It was just like,
where did you live?
Here. So it's only like 20 minutes from here.
I was not expecting that.
The garbage place was just in a rough area.
Oh, right.
Because they, obviously it stinks, so they're not going to put it like in a real nice area.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But it was wild. They even took, we had like wooden pallets, and I don't even know how they got them, but they somehow stole a bunch of pallets, and since they were on the riverbank, they made their own like dock, kind of, that they like pushed out into the river, and then like they would like go out there and hang out in the river. They had it changed to the trees, and like it was crazy. They
had a whole advanced civilization down there.
They really did. They had all their tents, and then they had like a bunch of tarps strung up through the trees to like protect their tents. And then they had like generators that were chained to the trees and like all this stuff. And the area down there would flood whenever it rained a lot. So whenever they knew it was going to flood, you'd see them all packing up all their stuff and they'd go somewhere else. It would flood. The water would go away. They'd come back and like reset up their whole civilization.
Damn.
It was pretty wild. And then the city kicked them all out because they were causing trouble. And it was like a big uproar. Like the whole everyone in the city was like, "You can't kick those people out." And we're like, and everyone's like, they can't stay here. Like, what do you mean? And some guy that had money ended up feeling sorry for him, and he bought like he owned like 3 or 4 different houses or something, and he like let them all stay in his houses because he felt bad for him. And then they ended up like just destroying all the houses because they're crackheads.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a big thing, and he wanted like he wanted the city to like pay for his houses or something. It was ridiculous.
I mean, kudos to him for like, you know, hey, I want to help out the less fortunate.
Like he had good intentions. He just didn't know what he was getting himself into.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember they were like, I think they came to my work or something. They were like asking about him, and we were all like, "Hey, these people are nuts. Like they're fighting with each other. They're setting things on fire. Like you don't want these people."
Yikes.
Anyway, we've been going for 1 hour and 50 minutes. So
seriously?
Yeah.
It doesn't say time for me. Damn.
So I think I'm gonna call it there.
Sweet, sounds good. I have spaghetti waiting for me downstairs. I hope, unless my parents actually didn't order it for me.
They probably didn't.